Hello viewers, on October 16, 2014, I decided to pursue my dream of having a YouTube channel. I opened this channel, I uploaded the first video, and here we are, 1 decade later. I had no idea it would ever turn into what it is today. I wrote down some statistics here. We are about 3 weeks prior to the actual date, so these might be a little bit larger by the time this video is published, but since I opened the channel, I have produced approximately 5,000 stinking bugs. I have produced approximately oh man, I have been trying so hard to produce this video all day. I started in the afternoon and I kept screwing it up because I have like notes here that I'm trying to follow, and it doesn't work because I never script anything, and so this doesn't work either, because this is why I don't script anything. And so I kept screwing up all afternoon. Then it was too windy, and there kept being wind noise in the microphone, so I waited for a couple hours. The wind dies down, I go back outside to try to record again, and because the wind died down, everybody and their mother-in-law decides to clean up the leaves. So now there's leaf blowers running up and down the street. I can't get the video done because it's too much leaf blower noise. Now it's like 10 or 11 o'clock at night, and it's finally, everything's calmed down. But anyways, so it is what it is. To date, the videos I have, oh gosh, we're keeping it. I don't care. I'm keeping it. To date, I have published approximately 5,400 unscripted videos on this channel. Collectively, those videos have received approximately 71 million views and have approximately 1.8 million watch hours. And as of now, the channel has grown to approximately 55,500 subscribers. I never expected that number of subscribers because we're tailoring to what I expected was a very small audience, because most of the things that I'm showing here are pretty uncommon hobbies that most people would not find interesting. The last 10 years has been a highly positive experience for me. Operating this channel has given me 2 opportunities that I otherwise probably never would have had. The first one is to meet all these people that share the same interest that I do. The original intention of this channel, and this has not changed 10 years later, it's still the same. The original intention was to develop a community of people that found the same things interesting that I do. The ceiling fans, the air conditioners, the lighting, etc. And my hope was that I could put all these videos on here and we could watch each other's videos and have conversations in the comments box and so forth, and kind of create a little community based around this stuff. And that has absolutely succeeded. We have an excellent group of people on here that we watch each other's videos and have conversations in the box, and it's gone much further than that. Now I have, as of I think it's been a little over 2 or 3 years ago now, the letter H and I, along with Colin, have created a Discord's chat room where we focus on all sorts of different topics that we see here on the channel. We focus on the 1980s, the 1990s, and the 2000s, but we go before and after that as well. So we have that chat room there that hit over 100 members in fairly recent times. We've got a great group of people on there. If you're interested in that, I will post a link in the video box where you can go and take a look at that chat room. So we've got that, and then another thing I've really come to enjoy over the last couple of years, I finally started going to, is the Pennsylvania meets in person, the fan meet, the AC meet. I'll give a quick plug here to Robbie and Russ for hosting those. Both of you do a fantastic job. Those are great events, and I look forward to them every year. So that's item number 1. The second item has been the ability to accumulate all of this equipment. Without these videos, I could never rationalize spending this amount of money on stuff that I don't need. That's just totally ridiculous. But since the videos generate revenue, which is not their purpose, it's just a byproduct. Since the videos generate revenue, if I go out and buy something and I make videos on it, the videos tend to pay for whatever it was that I bought. And so that has allowed me to kind of rationalize buying hundreds of cordless phones and putting streetlights up all over the yard and all these other ridiculous things that I do on video. And if it weren't for the videos making the money, then I never would have been able to do that. And I think that's a really neat concept. I think it's a really, really neat concept. And I think this platform is kind of unique in the sense that it's exclusively free. It's free to the user, it's free to the producer. The user or the viewer doesn't even have to make an account to use it. Anybody's free to come on here and watch these videos at no cost. Stands for a very, very, very small amount of advertising. And I'm just going to go on a quick tangent here. Some people, actually a lot of people, complain about the amount of advertising on this website. And I just don't quite understand that, because it's really quite minimal. For example, if you compare it to the closest thing I can think of that's really truly free would be like mainstream television broadcasts over the air on the antenna. Right? So if you pick up a TV broadcast on the antenna, you get tons of advertising on there. Right? If it's broken up into, I think it's broke up into half an hour and hour segments. A half an hour segment will have 19 minutes of actual programming and 11 minutes of advertising. And an hour program has, I think, about 43 minutes of programming, and that makes it, 17 minutes of advertising? That's outrageous. On here, now I can't attest to what other channels do, but on this channel, there's an ad break every 8 minutes. In the ads editor thing, whatever it's called, it only allows you to put ads if the video is more than 8 minutes. So I kind of adopted that as my standard, and so every 8 minutes of video there's an ad break. And the ad breaks are very brief. I think at worst it would be 2 non-skippable ads, which I believe fall somewhere in the range of 7 or 8 seconds apiece. So I mean, you're talking, let's say 15 seconds of ads, 8, 16, 24, maybe 4 times for a half an hour video, depending on if it plays one at the beginning or end. So that's 28 minutes and change of content with an hour, a minute and change in advertising. That's nothing, and it's free. So I just don't understand what it is that people complain about. I actually think it's a brilliant concept, and I don't know. I don't understand what the problem is. But these videos are not done for generating revenue. The purpose of this channel is for developing this community, which it has successfully done. And that's why on this channel you are never asked to subscribe to the videos. You're never asked to click on the like button. You're never asked to push the notifications bell, which doesn't even work anyways, because I believe that the only reason you should click on the like button is because you like the video. If you didn't like the video, don't click it. And don't click it because someone told you to. You should click it because and only because you like the video. And that's the same reason that there's no Patreon on here, whatever, asking people to go to a second site and pay for additional content. None of that. There is a donations button on the bottom of the video. I have never mentioned it on video since I put it on there, and I'll probably never mention it on video again. It's just there to be subtle, and if you feel that you want to donate, you can. It's not asked or expected. It's offered free of charge for your enjoyment, and to preserve the all the material. Well, I physically preserve the material, but It's to show and preserve the nostalgia of some of the equipment that we show, and generate a space where we can come together and enjoy these hobbies that, inherently quite a bit of people had, certainly more than I expected. So we're not going to do any like crazy big elaborate video for this milestone. I just wanted to underscore it, observe it, because it is significant. But I figured what we could do, which might be interesting, is to go back and watch the first video that I ever produced. I believe it was of the Uniden waterproof cordless phone. I'll have to go back and check to be certain. But let's go ahead and watch that video. I'm going to watch it because I actually don't really remember what it is. It's been a long time. I'm not going to react to it live because I don't really know how to put myself into the video over the screen. Like, that just gets too complicated for me. I don't do much editing. I like to just film and upload it. This video is going to get cut a couple times because I screwed up unrecoverably. But even that's more editing than I typically do. So let's go take a look at that video, and then we'll be back. Here is my Uniden wireless telephone. This is a heavy-duty telephone. It's waterproof, shock resistant, dust resistant, all sorts of stuff. That may seem kind of unrealistic, but I've owned it for a number of years now, and so far it's proven to be all of those things. But what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to test those things just so you can see how indestructible it really is. I don't remember the model number of this at the moment, but I'll look it up and post it in the description. As you can see on here, the handset is submersible, and the base unit, while it's not submersible, I don't really see why you'd want it to be. It is waterproof, so theoretically it could be installed outside or in places where it could get wet, like a kitchen or a garage or a bathroom. So it's a pretty useful phone, but let's get to testing it. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is drop it on the floor from a reasonable height. I'll do it with it on this time. As you can see, it is perfectly fine. Okay, now I'm going to try tossing it down the stairs. Seems like the battery may have come loose, but it is still working. Okay, now we're going to try getting it wet. Now, there is a minor design flaw with this telephone when it gets wet, because as you'll notice, you can't really hear it. The speaker, and this happens from the regular earpiece as well, the speaker cavity gets water in it and then it doesn't work properly, so you have to shake it out. And it returns to normal relatively easily, but I'll demonstrate that again while it's on. And now we can hardly hear it, and just a couple of good shakes will get all the water out. And yes, this does float too, which is very cool. So if you drop it in a pool or a lake or any other larger body of water than a sink, it's easily recovered. So it is definitely waterproof and shockproof, and just for good measure, so it's a pretty sturdy phone. I definitely recommend it. I'll make another video on this telephone in the future to show the range it gets, as well as to do a review on it. So that's all for now. Over and out. Okay, I just watched the video myself as well. It has about 41,000 views, which is not bad for the first video I ever published. And the quality of it is actually a lot better than I thought it was. For some reason, I remember that video being very poor quality, like really shaky and stuff because the tripod wasn't used, but it wasn't bad. So before we wrap up this video, and this is where I really need these notes that I can't see because it's too dark out, I wanted to go through and offer a couple of pieces of advice for those that may be contemplating starting a channel of his or her own. These are not components to a magic formula. They're not going to work for everybody. You're going to be able to find people that will tell you the exact opposite of what I'm about to tell you. We might both be correct. I don't know. I'm just telling you what's worked for me. So, first off, if you're thinking about doing this, just do it. There's nothing to lose. It's free. It doesn't take a whole lot of time to put a couple videos out and see what happens. The worst thing that you could run into is it just doesn't get a lot of views. I record everything. I know a lot of people like to do, it's become a lot more popular in recent times to have this heavy, very, very heavily edited video that cuts everything every 5 seconds. Like a lot of people would, in this scenario, would cut the video after just about every single sentence and make it perfect and show nothing other than exactly what is correct or whatever. That's fine if that's what you want to do. That's not my personal preference, and that's why the videos on this channel are largely unedited. I also think that you should record just about everything you post. Yep, you should definitely record everything you post, because if you don't, you're going to get a copyright and you're going to get canceled. You should post just about everything you record, because you never know what's going to be watched. For example, I post probably 98% of the content that I record, even if it's got all sorts of screw-ups and whatever, like this video does. It just goes up, and it is what it is. I like that natural, casual feel. But just as an example of things that you record that you might think are useless, I was trying to record a video. There's just the one thing that comes to mind. I was recording a video of it was a Contact industrial ceiling fan. See, some people would cut that pause out. I'm leaving it in. It was a Contact industrial ceiling fan. This is years ago at the old location. And I started the video, and I didn't get into it very far, and I abruptly sneezed. And so I shut the camera off. I said, I'll just do it again. It was only a loss of 5 or 10 seconds. But I had that clip, and I said, let's throw it up there as a dedicated bloopers video. And so I published that video. Didn't get a lot of views at first. And then all of a sudden, one day, it just started getting views. And I think as of now, it's got upwards of 100,000 views. Because I sneezed in a ceiling fan video. It's got way more views than the actual video of the ceiling fan itself. And that's why I've learned to just post everything and anything, because you really never know what is going to be successful on here. It almost seems to me like it's randomized. There's this mystery algorithm, and nobody seems to know for sure how it works and what it does, but it's very interesting, and it's kind of unpredictable. So that's one thing that I do that has worked for me. This is tough to do. Anything in the entertainment industry is very tough at this point, because you're competing with everything. When I first started watching videos, I got my first computer back in like 2008, I think, or 2007. And so that's when I started to watch videos more regularly. But I mean, we had computers prior to that too, but I got my first computer around that time. And so that was when I started to search for things like vintage fan or ceiling fans or whatever. And I remember when you could type that in. You could type in ceiling fans in my house, for example, and you would get 14 videos, and then it would say at the bottom, no more results found. And in the course of the afternoon, you could watch every video about ceiling fans on there because there just wasn't that much stuff on there yet. That's not the case anymore. Nowadays, if you type in ceiling fan on there, you're going to get maybe even tens of thousands of videos. I don't know. An outrageous amount of videos. And that's growing every day. It's probably exponentially growing because there's always new channels coming on. So it's very tough nowadays to make it in this type of environment because there is so much competition. And so what you have to do is you have to find something that's unique. A lot of people, and again, this is just two different opinions, both have accurate aspects. A lot of people say that if you start a new channel, you should start to do a lot of common trending videos. I don't think there is one single popular trending style video on this channel. I don't agree with that. I think that you should try to come up with something that's unique and something that doesn't already exist. Now, I got very fortunate in my case because I found telephones. When I started doing telephone videos, this is probably, I'm trying to think of when I really started to get into it. Probably like 2016, 2017. I started really getting into the phone videos. I started buying a bunch of different models and so forth. And that was when the channel started to take off because there was not a really good channel with a lot of cordless phone content. There were miscellaneous videos by various people here and there about telephones, but there really was not a dedicated telephone channel. And so I found that area and I filled it, and that's really what built my channel. The telephone videos is what put me on the map, and appropriately so, because I really like telephones, and I just really enjoy them. I don't know what it is about them. I've always liked telephones, and I have been able to build over the last number of years an extensive library of cordless telephones, and I still have, another bug, I still have so many telephones I have to get on video. But this is absolutely, and I'm not saying this to be like, oh, look at this channel, but this is absolutely the premier channel for cordless telephones. There is no other channel that has the same number of models shown, the same depth and history talked about, the same testing and explanation shown per each model. This has remained the primary channel for telephones, and that's what's keeping it on the map. Followed closely by some of the other stuff I do, which I can't believe people actually watch, like the video of the days and the installing of the ceiling fans has been pretty popular lately. But so the point is, I got very fortunate with finding an area that happened to not exist yet, but that's very rare. And so I don't think that you have to necessarily find a subject matter that is unique. I think the unique personality of yourself is often good enough. The user UXW Bill comes to mind to explain this point. He can make a video of just about anything. The most mundane object around the house, he can make a video of it. It'll be informative, it'll be thorough, it'll be attention keeping, and he'll make it interesting somehow. And so a lot of times different people have that capacity, and maybe you're that person. Maybe you can do that. And so sometimes I'll go to certain channels because, not because I want to see a particular item, but because I like that person's presentation, the way he or she presents, explain things. JK18 is another channel that I go to for because I think the way that he tells stories and everything is very well done. He holds the audience. His explanations are captivating, and so those are two channels that I don't necessarily go to for the material, although the actual items shown often are of interest. I go there for the personalities, and so that's another thing that's another way you can kind of fit in on here, is to have your own unique personality and presentation. Let's see here. We already talked about the editing. Um, I use unedited videos. I'm just going to go back to this real quick. And because of that, a lot of my productions end up becoming very lengthy, as this one is starting to become very lengthy. I can see it's over 20 minutes already. Some people complain about the videos being too long. The number of people that complain about that is very minimal compared to the people that express positive opinions about a lengthy video. So even though a lot of people are going to say you got to make the video short to keep people's attention, I don't necessarily agree with that. I don't think that you have to. So from a more technical perspective, when you're making the videos, make sure that you use good thumbnails and make sure that they're real. So on this channel, I would say 99% or higher of the thumbnails are screenshots that I take with the snipping tool of the video, of a particular point in time in the video. And you can capture what might be the most interesting time of the video, but it should always be a portion of the video. It should never be misleading or what used to be called clickbait. I don't know if that terminology has gone obsolete, but if you're not honest in the thumbnail, you're going to lose viewers. For example, I saw a thumbnail video a couple weeks ago. It was on a fairly young channel, and the thumbnail, it was for like a storm drain clean out video, and the thumbnail is of this huge parking lot, right? And it's got a big whirlpool in the center of the parking lot. So I thought, oh, what a exciting video this is going to be. He's going to clean out a big drain, and it's going to work, and it's going to be a whirlpool, blah, blah, blah. So I click on the video, and the video is of a guy hand holding the camera, so it's all like shaky and messed up, with a tiny little rake, moving a couple of leaves off of a storm grate. It's raining, but there's no flood. There's really not much of a backup. I watched the whole stinking video because I wanted to make sure that I wasn't missing something. And I think the most eventful thing in that video was like a 2-inch depth of water unclogged with a tiny little rake and some leaves. That thumbnail was not part of the video at all. It had nothing to do with the actual content in the video. And so I did not look at any of the other videos on that channel, and I probably never will, because I don't like to be deceived. So don't put fake thumbnails. It's not a good idea. Make sure the thumbnails are captivating, but they have to be real. The other thing that's very beneficial to do is to make a good title, a good description, and use the tags. The title is limited to 100 characters, so it has to be brief. The description, at least as of now, this information might become obsolete over time. The description is bound to 5,000 characters, and I believe that you should fill that thing up. Type a summary of the video, give details of the video. You can give links to other videos, but I don't think that's super important, because a lot of people don't actually read the description anymore. It's more so for the mystery algorithm to actually find the video, or for the video to show up in searching. So go through that description box, type all about the video, put in model numbers, put in brands, put in products that you're working on, put in history of the product, put in common problems if you're doing a troubleshooting video or repair video. Fill that description box up, and then go into the tags and fill that box up as well. The tags, as of now, are bound to 500 characters. I will not release a video without having at least 495 characters in that tags thing. And I think this is super, super important. And the reason being is that you're going to find that most of your views do not come from people clicking the video in the description. Most people do not come, most of your views will not come from Uh, what is it? I just totally lost what we were talking about. Okay, I got it again. Most of your views will not come from people clicking the video in his or her subscriptions feed. The majority of your views will come from non-subscribed viewers. It'll come from people finding the video on the homepage. It'll come from people finding the video in the suggested videos on the side of the video player. It's very few views actually come from subscription feeds. So it's important because the homepage and the description and the search, a lot of views will come from search as well depending on the type of video. All three of those items will be able to find your video based on the text. The text in the description box and the text in the tags. So fill them up. Another thing that's important is, how do we say this? You don't have to have like high quality video production in the sense that like you hire a cameraman and you have fancy lighting. Like I use a $200 camera that right now is propped up on a $4 cheesy little 2-inch tripod, and I'm sitting out here in the dark on my deck and I'm producing this by myself. I produce every video by myself, unless like somebody's helping me accomplish a task or something. But you have to have reasonable quality video, enough for people to be able to watch it. You can't have a blurry video, like shaky camera. You have to use a tripod. The tripod is paramount. Obviously the exceptions if like you're using a mounted GoPro camera on your person or something like that, but use a tripod. Tripods are inexpensive, they're easy to use, easy to set up, and it makes a world of difference on the video quality. The second thing is to record horizontally. This drives me nuts. Let's just pretend for a moment that this phone can take pictures, okay? So look at your eyes. Well, okay, don't look at your eyes. Use your eyes to look at the world. Is it vertical or horizontal? It's horizontal, that's right. So if you're going to go and capture the world, why the heck would you turn it vertical? What do you mean? I'm going to look at the world like this today. No, that's stupid. Take the video horizontal, turn it like this, and capture the video like this, so that when you put it on the computer screen or the television set, it actually fits. I will not watch vertical videos. I despise vertical videos because sometimes I run into vertical videos when I actually need information about something, and I get annoyed because the video doesn't fit on the screen. It's too small and I can't see what's being shown. Stop with the vertical videos. I don't think you should record with a phone in the first place, but if you're going to, turn the stinking thing horizontal so that it captures video the way that you see the world. It just makes sense. Audio is paramount in videos. If you don't have good audio, nobody is going to watch the video. This particular camera, I don't think it takes the best videos I've ever seen. I think that the GoPro actually takes clearer videos. This video is probably very noisy, and I mean noisy in terms of like the picture quality topic, not like audio noise. Although it is kind of noisy with these bugs out here. Anyways, the picture probably is noisy because it's low light, but in the camera's defense, it's doing a very good job with how much light is available here. But this camera does have good audio. It has stereo audio. The automatic gain control is very good. Captures audio from a reasonable distance away. And so I've had very good success using this camera. I've used this particular model camera for, I want to say, at least 5 years now. I've had a few of them because they break or they wear out or whatever, but it's inexpensive and it just does a decent job. I'm not saying this to be stupid because I just hate the iPhone, but I really don't think that the iPhone takes a good video in terms of audio. I think the picture on the iPhone is fine, but the audio, I can tell almost immediately when somebody's recorded video from an iPhone's because the audio is kind of quiet and muffled, it's not clear, and I can't hear what's being said. It's not acceptable. A lot of people nowadays, I'm not one of them, but a lot of people kind of watch videos in the background. And I think people use my videos, the longer ones, this way too. Put the video on in the background of doing a task or something, and so the focus of attention becomes the audio more so than the picture. And if the audio is no good, nobody's using your video for that purpose. Also, if you're sitting there trying to show something, a lot of times the explanation is required. And if the audio is all messed up, you're not getting your explanation across. I personally would rather watch a video in 360p and have audio be perfect than watch a 4K video with messed up audio. And I think a lot of people share that opinion. So make sure you get good audio. If all you have is iPhones and you don't want to invest in a camera, at least get an external microphone. They're not that expensive. Stuff like that has come down in price a lot over the last 5 or so years, 5 to 10 years. You can get a little cordless lapel microphone for probably less than $50 at this point. It'll make a world of difference. Get it. So get the microphone, get a tripod, right? And you can get tripod adapters for the stupid phones too. And you can clamp it horizontally into your tripod and have a clear video with good audio, just spending a little bit of money. Nothing that I use is expensive to produce this channel. The most expensive item involved is the video editing computer, which was recovered from the trash, so that didn't cost anything. The cameras are the GoPro is a couple $100, but you know, again, it pays for itself because I use it to produce the videos. Another thing that I think is valuable, we're getting towards the last point here, is the comments. Answer your comments, especially as a small channel. You don't have a lot of comments coming in yet. Answer all your comments. Well, let me revise that. Answer all the comments worth answering. I used to be dead set on answering every single comment that came in. And I think that in terms of this mystery algorithm, I do believe that contributed something. Over the last couple of years, I've kind of changed the way I handle it, and I typically only respond to comments that are really of substance or value. I think it's a little better, how do you say it? It's socially better that way, and it kind of cuts down on some of the things that you don't want on the channel. And it just gets to the point where there's too many comments to keep up with, and I'm getting close to that, because I only have so much time in a day to spend here typing on the computer. But respond to the comments, especially if they're, well, respond to them only if they're intelligent ones, I guess is what I'll say. And if there's new replies, keep going back to it, because if someone leaves a comment on your video and you post a meaningful response, assuming the stupid comments notification system actually delivers your response, I think that person is more apt to keep your video in his or her mind from that interaction. The other thing I think that's valuable if you're starting up a channel is go to other channels with similar interests and comment on those videos. Now, watch the videos and leave an intelligent comment. Don't just blast nonsense in the box. Watch the video and leave an intelligent comment, because, and I'm not sure everybody else does this, but what I do is, if I get a valuable, intelligent comment in my box and it's from a user that I don't recognize, I will go to that channel and take a look at the videos. And if they're decent, I'll watch them. And if I like them, only because if I like them, I'll click on the like button and I'll subscribe to the channel. And so it's a good way to kind of give yourself a little bit of publicity in that regards. I think that's, and that also, that helps develop that community that we talked about at the beginning of the video. So that's all that I really had in mind, that I had written down on the paper there for advice that I would give. Last thing is, be patient. It does not happen overnight. I did not have a large quantity of viewers for years. A lot of times you upload videos and they just sit and it seems like nothing's happening. Keep at it. Upload regularly. balance the content between quality and quantity. Find out how much people are willing to watch, but don't just produce garbage, because no one's going to watch garbage. I had something else in my mind. Oh yeah, sometimes you might find that you get one video that just goes crazy. I had that happen to me. Very, very early on, I had posted a video of having a conversation over the telephone with a computer scammer. And that video, for several weeks, went off the charts. And the growth was crazy. And then it died down and never gets any attention. I uploaded several videos very similar to it following, didn't get any attention. Sometimes you just, like I said before, you get that random one video where it takes off, and it might put you on a map. You never know. But don't be discouraged by the time it takes. It will take time. It can take years. One more thing. Ugh, another bug. I hate bugs so much. One thing that I've started to do, and admittedly I've been a bit negligent on this, I started a series a couple months, maybe years ago, I don't even remember now. It might have been a couple years ago, called Watching Videos I think it's called Mentioned In. In the video box, the description box, you can type the @ symbol and then a channel name. And that, I forget if it's called a tag or a flag or whatever the terminology is. I see that in the comments manager. And what I've been trying to do, and I will try to do this more regularly, is I've been trying to go through and watch those videos on video, kind of as a way to give, like a give back to the viewers, right? To maybe give the opportunity for some smaller channels that aren't on the map yet to have some screen time in front of a potentially much larger audience who might also find that video is interesting. So my hope is that that series will give these smaller channels some much needed attention. So if you want to take advantage of that, go into one of your videos. It would probably be better if it's relevant to one of the topics that we cover on this channel, because most likely the audience would be the same. But you can mention me in your video, and I will watch it on video within reason. I'm not going to watch brain rot, which I have been tagged in some brain rot, and I just can't do it. I'm not watching brain rot. I'm not going to watch the entirety of your library on video. I just don't have the time to do that. But if you want to mention a handful of videos, I will watch them on video, and hopefully that will help you out a little bit. And I can provide some feedback too if there's areas I think that could be improved on the video, or things that you're doing very well. So, I think that was everything I wanted to cover on here. Yeah, that was it. I'm freezing. It's cold out here. So, 10 years on YouTube. Quite the experience. It's been a great experience. And as long as this continues to be financially and logistically reasonable, I will keep on producing.